Lots of love.
Welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through. It's just going to solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC with the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Laura, is he going to be able to find these shots true?
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Annabelle immediately goes back to fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, so back and forth.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to CGL Season 14. Week number, I believe this is going to be 6 beginning here on the channel. We've got a pretty interesting matchup between 2 of our top 4 teams in the EU Console Open tier. The defending mid-season champions, Smelvin Industries, going up against 3rd, 4th place Lunar Falcons. I mean, the matchups in that mid-season tournament were very, very close, so I'm looking for this match to be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, I think both teams are undefeated so far this season. Both teams like to run a rush. The only difference is that one likes to run the Ramatra rush, one likes to run the Sigma rush. So I'm expecting similar comps with both teams having Tracer specialists and both teams having Lucio specialists. So I'm assuming we're going to be in for a Brawl v Brawl matchup.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams clearly very, very strong. You know, the team that beat Lunar Falcons in the semifinals only fell to Smelvin in the finals 3-2. So, and Lunar Falcons themselves only fell 3-2 to DYS. So, or I guess budget approved, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, these two teams very, very close, but let's meet them. Why don't we? First up, we've got, I believe, Smelvin Industries, maybe? Hello? Hi, Smelvin. Hi, Smelvin. Maury, Hogglefart, Big Nan, Seb, Puzio in the lineup here for Smelvin Industries, the defending champions for a reason. The last couple of seasons here in CGL have been a really, really strong upstart, looking to finally get their first proper grand finals win this season, and they're making a very, very strong case for themselves as they head into the back half of the season.
Yeah, like as long you look good the first part of the season, let you work your kinks out. Now we are a week removed from the new update, new everything, so everybody's kind of getting used to like the new balance changes. So I'm interested to see how Smelvin's going to react. Like, okay, now we've had a week in this, and you should, as good as they are, the kinks are worked out, and they should be able to have a very good, solid foundation from which their team is built on to make a run towards a championship.
For sure. Now let's get a look at the challengers. Also undefeated in the regular season is going to be Lunar Falcons here. Got Otters, Elemental on the DPS, Terry Tiddick on the tank, and Aster and Izuya in that backline. I mean, like I said, this team is also one of the 4 that made the mid-season tournament here in the EU Console Open tier. They are very, very strong. Still undefeated in the regular season. Lost a very, very razor-close match against DYS Budget approved in the semis. So I'm looking for them to be able to challenge Smelvin Industries here.
Yeah, I mean, these are 2 very competitive teams, and I would not be surprised if this goes 5 maps. And I would not be surprised if these 2 teams met in the grand finals weeks later down the road. So it looks like we're in for a treat for this matchup.
Yeah, we do know where we're going to head first. It's going to be Busan, followed by Eichenwald and Hanaoka. And then our tiebreakers will be Esperanza and Junkertown, should it be necessary. But as we head to Busan, it is, in my opinion, pretty good for kind of whatever you want. I favor Rush for the most part, with Orisa still being as strong as she has ever been. It's going to be, like you said, an interesting thing. Are they going to change anything up? Because most teams haven't really changed anything up despite, the heavy changes that came with this most recent patch.
Yeah, the one thing with the most recent patch was the deaths, so-called the Sombra. So now that that's taken care of, a lot of people are still running Tracers. They're still running the Sojourns. They're still running Briggs. They're still pretty much running Junos, because Juno's ult is one of the most big ults in the game. So here you see, the Orisa, Lunar does like to run the Orisa comps. So Orisa's still meta.
Yep. Traditional comp here for Lunar Falcons. Smelvin Industries coming out on closer to a dive comp. Still with the Juno Brig backline. D.Va for Big Nan. Offhand for Mori on this Widowmaker, looking for a chance to pop a head, but now under a lot of pressure. You saw as Big Nan turned around. But we're going to get a pause through as Mori from somewhere pops Aster. Pause called for by Aster. But Smelvin will be able to grab that with only the pick on to Aster. Are we gonna pause? I guess not. Sam, you good?
Yeah, I'm just watching to see if we're getting a pause or anything. I was just watching to see if we're going to pause or not. But that's a good opening pick by Mori, getting Aster, getting the Brig, getting a good chunk of the healing and shields out of the way.
All right, well, right back into the blender for Smelvin Industries. Big Nan able to escape that menacing spear spin, but unfortunately Elemento cannot escape Big Nan. Hyper Ring in here from the side of Lunar Falcons to try and help their Orisa on point, but Terry tries to, go back and peel for the rest of their team, but it will be 4-0.
And right there, Smelvin already got 2 teamfight wins. Mori's almost got the ult. And now you see Terry switching over to the D.Va from the Orisa. So now let's see how they're going to try to almost a mirror match right here, kind of in a way. See how they're going to react in this team fight.
I feel about that. I mean, D.Va's strong, but I think that if you run the Orisa right, it's better. But we will have to see as we get in there. Hyper Ring down from Seb, very close to that orbital ray, but with sights up. And Hogglefart getting the better of Elemento in the Tracer duel. Everything is coming up Smelvin right now.
Yeah, even with the switch to D.Va, literally no ults really being used except for the Widowmaker at the end. But Smelvin, like, very few ults, very few resources coming in and able to get these kills one by one and able to so far win this round. And this is probably the last fight territory.
Last fight territory here, 95% for Smelvin Industries, 2-0. Gonna see the orbital ray engaged with the Hyper Ring. Something similar going to happen on the other side. Pulse Bomb stuck onto the D.Va, but Big Nan more than happy to just pop that self-destruct. Not only get back in mech, but take down Otters with it. 2-player advantage here for Smelvin as Aster tries to use the Inspire healing to stay up, but it's a 100-0 start for Smelvin Industries.
Smelvin looked really, really dominant that round. Again, I don't know if there's pause issue at the end or anything, but it looked like Smelvin was in complete control, did not fluster, able to regroup, able to stabilize and all that stuff, and just able to capitalize and have a good dominant first round win, which is, if you want to set the tone, you set it round 1, game 1, and that's exactly what Smelvin did.
A great start for Smelvin Industries, forcing Lunar Falcons to play their game. Have to switch over to the Divas. Mori is just clicking heads right now. The Widowmaker, nigh unstoppable, but now, I mean, this is going to be surely a big shock for Lunar Falcons as we head in. The pause going to come through, so we'll talk about that a little more. But Big Nan's on the Orisa now. So coming in, Terry's going to be way caught off guard thinking that this is still going to be a Diva duel, but it's just not.
No, and then right at the beginning, they were showing the overhead view. The Brigette for Smelvin was still in comp. I don't know if still in spawn, but I don't know if that was the reason for the pause, but we shall see. We're having technical difficulties with either team. But so far, what did you think with the first map so far? What was your takeaways?
That was good. I mean, they're champions for a reason for this mid-season tournament. I don't think matching the Diva was the right play. Obviously, I think hindsight is 20/20. I think their best chance was going to come off of Terry staying on the Orisa and holding the space as hard as they could. Obviously, that didn't happen. But, I think you have to play your game. You can't play the other team's game and hope to beat them at it, especially with a team as good as Smelvin is, right? They obviously came out ready to play this Diva. Lunar Falcons, not so much. So that learning curve can sometimes be a little bit too steep, right in the, the moment. Given a little bit of time, Lunar Falcons probably could have found, some way to play this comp right, but, they switched at, 65%? 40 seconds isn't enough time.
No. The thing about it is they kept trying to go backside, kind of to that point. And your Widowmaker can literally just flank over there with a grapple hook and just shots. So your Brig has to turn around, try to shield and give armor packs to whatever. And then you have the Diva come in and try to hit the Orisa in the mouth. So now you're teaching the team. They're like, do we block the Widow shots? Do we block the tank shots? Or we're back there.
I guess Fuzio figured out the issue now, and a lot of pressure, but Otters saving the life of Izia there, dispatching of Hogglefart early. Not going to be able to find the pick there, as Smelvin Industries will respect the play and back off here.
Yeah, whenever you lose one, that's usually your key of, hey, let's just back up, let's just pull on regroup. And if you're Lunar, after last round, you get the point first, you start getting some momentum, get a team fight win, and then start getting some
great start there for the side of Smelvin. They dispatch of Terry, and the same thing going to happen on the other side. They're just going to run away.
Yeah, they lost the tank, and usually when you lose your tank, that's pretty much it for the time being. Lunar lost Terry. That was it. They're going to full on regroup. That's allowing Smelvin to take control of the point.
A little bit of back off there. Big Nan under a lot of pressure, just trying to farm up that orbital ray. Already 70%, but Big Nan pressure from all angles there. And unfortunately, those cooldowns can only keep you up for so damn long. 30% is what Smelvin Industries will get up to as Lunar Falcons move to take the point.
Yeah, they just pressured Big Nan. They pressured Hoggle. And it was just, your tank, you can only sustain so much. Only so much of your resources can go in there. But now Mori has the ult, so I'm pretty sure they're going to open up with that. And then Lunar's going to try to play defensive until this ult goes away.
All right, coming up again for Smelvin Industries. They have wall hacks ready to go as Mori pops the ult, as well as Separate Otters just folds Hogglefart as they escape the death from above with that orbital ray. Now going to rotate back over to the point where Smelvin Industries will take the fight as well. The orbital ray coming in later from EZA. Usually the better one is the later one, trying to keep Big Nan up, but self-destruct for Terry as they try to get back in mech. They cannot, but the trades are good for Lunar Falcons too. From the other side, this Terra Surge annoying, but not deadly. Big Nan falls, and Lunar Falcon stands above the deaths of Smelvin.
Yeah, I think Big Man's should have kept that ult. But Mori does switch off the Widowmaker to the Ash. And Big Man switches from the Orisa to the Diva now. So pretty much a mirror v mirror matchup going into what could possibly be the last team fight of this match.
All right, here we go. 85% now. Hogglefart has to use the recall early. Wanted the pulse bomb. Was not given anything but the pressure onto this. Juno very, very strong, but Big Man loses the mech here so quickly. And as we approach overtime now, it's going to be very, very hard, especially because Terry's gotten rid of the aforementioned Hogglefart pulse bomb. And with Big Nan falling, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for Smelvin Industries to take this fight in good faith, and they cannot, as it's just desperation here late, and it will be Lunar Falcons taking this point.
Yeah, the one thing with the one tank right now is when you lose your tank, that's pretty much going to lose the team fight for you. And right there at 99%, I get the whole, hey, see if we can make something happen, see whatever. But in a 5v4 advantage, somebody's getting a 2-on-1 advantage, and they just snowballed right there. So Lunar Falcons came back from last round to a complete different, get some momentum going, get some morale going, and we're 1-1 in the first map. Looks like as of now, we are getting a Ryan v. Orisa duel.
I mean, I don't hate it, especially now that Maury's gone over to the May. Oh man, the Orisa's just better than Reinhardt right now. She's a better option than our funny hammer guy, but I guess we'll have to see as they set up to attack here on Mecha Base. Meet on the high ground as per the usual. We'll see. Fire Strike's out already. Elemento very low, has to dig into the ground so early there. Wall out. They're going to try and walk down their own wall is Smelvin Industries, trying to take care of Terry, who's just getting pumped full of healing. A good wall there. Can they get rid of this Orisa? The answer for now appears to be no. Pressure on the point now from Smelvin Industries as the rest of the players fight on this high ground. First flip will belong to Smelvin Industries, but nobody's fallen. Big Nan, though, followed by Pugio, will fall next, one after the other, and that should be Lunar Falcons taking this fight and, grabbing a point after, cool 10%.
Yeah, they were able to get it right there, get some momentum going. And you're in Smelvin, you did cap point, which is what you want. Start getting some timer going, and maybe force them to get off the point. But Lunar's able to rebound and take out Big Nan and the Brigette right off the bat.
All right. Back in here as Big Nan goes back over to the Orisa wall at the ready for Otters. Will they be able to find anything with it? Try to bait it out, but Otters is the first to fall. The wall does not protect them. It only, keeps Smelvin Industries back, and unfortunately, no cooldowns for Elemento. The Orbital Ray from Ezio to try and keep them well in this fight, and it's going to keep it going for a little bit. A good amount of healing, good amount of damage from that Orbital Ray. Big Nan from the point, under a lot of stress. Terry pops the Terra Surge to stay unfrozen through the blizzard. Able to get rid of Big Nan, but the flip comes through from Smelvin Industries. Fight's not over yet because the rest of Lunar Falcons has come back, but in the face of Seb's Orbital Ray, not great as Puzio, I saw it right in the back, lagged out one more time. Hi guys, we're back.
That was a good teamfight engagement. It sucks it ends with a pause, but we shall see what happens. Apparently, technical difficulties all around. But that was a good engagement right there. I think Big Nan was able to get 1 or 2 picks as the Orisa able to then get on point and then go back and forth. Both teams trying to trade, both teams trying to get control of the point. So, honestly, good chess match right now, for the exception of the lagging. Good kind of like one-upsmanship. So, honestly, other than the internet issues, very good, solid game so far from both teams. Both look like evenly matched.
Yeah, we've seen 2 maps that have been pretty one-sided to either team at the moment. This is definitely the tightest so far of the three maps that we've seen on Busan. I don't know. I do like that Big Nan is willing to put the hammer down for a little while. It'll definitely help them win because Reinhardt, for as much as we like Reinhardt and seeing Reinhardt, he's just not good. Orisa just that much better than Reinhardt, where it's basically forced to go off, as the rest of Lunar Falcons just gonna opt to back out in a round.
You can see, and now we get back in. Smelvin has control of the point at 30%, but Lunar has more control at 42%. And here we go.
I mean, Elemento just explodes. No way to get underground if you're dead before you get there. A lot of pressure being put in the backline, and they see that health bar on Easy, who just jumps into the face of Big Nan. Unfortunately, caught out there, and the rest of Lunar Falcons will just escape to their spawn, or at least try to.
Yeah, somewhat of a little spawn camp, but it's also used to get more percentage up, as now Melvin has control for 55 to 42%. So trying to use their advantage, trying to get as much of this time on the clock as they can.
I mean, Hyper Wing in, followed up by a massive Terra Surge there. Claims Easy as life, but the Blizzard is in from Otters, and it's going to freeze up one, get rid of everybody there, and Lunar Falcons are going to be able to come back swinging on this point.
Able to come back with both DPS ults as the staggering hoggles right there. But now you got pretty much both support ults, and you can have the tank ult for this engagement. Versus out of Smelvin, you're going to have 2 DPS ults and one of the support ults.
Torpedoes out. Mori the first to fall. Nobody claimed by the Blizzard. Now orbital rays in from either side, as well as the rally by Aster. But they're just going to opt to back off here. Smelvin Industries, no value gain from that orbital ray.
Yeah, neither team really got anything from the orbital rays. It was just more of a chess match right there to see bend or break or who's going to fall first. And even right now, Lunar they're pretty much tied 80 to 80% on this right here. It could be the last team fight, and that's whoever wins this is probably going 1-0.
Pulse bomb in the hands of the Tracer there. Will not even need it to get rid of Aster. The Terra Surge is in to keep the Orisa alive here. Terry able to stay in this fight for a moment. But as the clock strikes midnight, it looks like Lunar Falcons are well ahead in the, living people category here. And it's just Seb left and able to get rid of there at the hands of Easy. There will be some late touches here. Big Man has the Terra Surge. Will not be able to claim any kills with it. Puzio returns and gets rid of one each, so it's still an even fight here. Gonna see what they can do with this tectonic shock. The answer is nil for Elemento. Gonna bury themselves back into the ground. Puzio, the next to fall, jumps over the wall, does Elemento, and finally, I say finally, Hogglefart and Seb are still alive for a little bit longer, and Smelvin Industries able, or not so able, to come back into that fight as Lunar Falcons gonna take map number 1.
Yeah, that was a long, drawn-out team fight. Both teams were trading blows and haymakers. I think Smelvin just had, more deaths than they really needed to come back. But on the proof, neither team really made a big mistake. It's just a few caught outs here and there, and like 1 or 2 staggers, but both teams are looked to be evenly matched, so we could still go the distance, but we shall see.
Yeah, very, very, back and forth map for sure. Lunar Falcons just seemed like they had the Orisa comp a little bit more down pat. Orisa relies a lot on not dying, and unfortunately, if you die, it's hard to win, right? It sounds so stupid, so simple, but that is really the crux. Orisa just has to live, and unfortunately, at the end there, they couldn't do it for Smelvin Industries, right? Lunar Falcons were able to live longer, take the longer fights that they needed, and ultimately that's what matters when you're running these Orisa comps. It's less of a brawl comp and more sustain. You don't want, usually these fights are not going to be quick and easy. They're going to be long. They're going to be grueling. They're going to be, 45-second fights at a time. It is hard to kill an Orisa very, very quickly. And unfortunately, in those long sustained fights, it just felt like Lunar Falcons had the better ideas.
They did. With Arissa, she is the anchor tank, where Ryan, granted with the charge, has more escapability. So your Arissa is.
So yeah, go ahead, Sam.
I was gonna say you have the Arissa literally as the anchor tank with literally no mobility, and it's very easy to pinch the Arissa versus the Ryan can swing around and Ryan can shoot, charge one way, get out of there, go to a health pack, go to the healers, regroup, push in with the shield or go in with the charge. So the Arissa is very heavy sustainability. Like you got to pump resources into her. She's got to be able to stay. And Fortify is a really good ability, but a lot of the times when you're getting pinched, the Fortify is not going to help unless it's like a blizzard or like a shatter or something. So interested to see how the Arissa comps, if they're going to stick on the Arissas or what the two tanks going to do, because we saw Wrecking Ball, Ryan, Arissa, and Diva come out in that first series. So anything literally could be on the table.
Yeah. I still think that Arissa probably is the best option. That sustain is, why she's so good. And I think the only big change that came with this most recent patch was that Juno's range got nerfed. So Juno has to play a little bit closer to... It's got to be more Death Volley than it even was before, right? Before, the whole point of the Juno Brig comp was to let Juno sit super far away from the tanks and let the Brig defend her. And that's still the deal, which makes Brig, I think, even more important now. But Juno just does so much damn healing, man. It's kind of ridiculous, but you can see it right there. We're going to see bans coming in for Puzio for Smelvin Industries. We'll see if that is going to change up their backline comp. But nothing coming in for Lunar Falcons here.
I think Bance is a Lucio specialist as the main support, so I would assume they're going to try to do more rush style comps here on Eichenwald. I would assume maybe I'd like to see what these teams do a Junkrat if they're going to try to go through these choke points. But I'm expecting like the Venture, May, Cassidy, maybe a Reaper Brawlish, so to speak, because both teams, like we said in the beginning, they love to use the brawl. They love to use the rush compositions, try to rush in there and get picks and get it. So let's see what we get this round.
Eichenwald for map number 2. Pretty flexible map. I imagine at the very least we're going to see the Arissas come out on the first point. Very, very possible, as you see, yeah, there's a Diva coming in, or rather an Arissa coming in for Big Nan and Terry. Could see a Diva swap up here in the point B. Go right back over to the Arissa for C. That's a possibility, but Arissa as a tank, very, very strong right now. So may not even need to switch up at all, but it will be damn near a mirror here, as you see 7 bans coming in with Puzio going out. They're going to be running the more traditional Brig Juno backline.
Yeah, even for the playoffs last mid-season, Juno Brig was the backline pretty much every team ran. Like, that was the meta stable, that was the comp. So, pretty much no change from either team.
All right, here we go. Map number 2, Lunar Falcons. It's going to come in here. Going to be a full entire mirror here for these two teams. We'll see which team going to get the better here. It's going to be more about execution. Forced the recall out of Hogglefart early, and Big Nan under a lot of pressure early as well. Turned to look at the supports, and Smelvin Industries is just falling over one at a time as Lunar Falcon just walk right in and take it.
Yeah, that was... If you're Lunar, that's how you want to start, is you want a team kill as your first engagement. If you're Smelvin, you go, it's kind of like, man, right off the bat, like, jeez, already. And now they got a 5-minute, 40-second time to start pushing the payload, which is almost an eternity. But Smelvin can turn it around. They're a well-coached team, and then you see Terry switches over to the Diva now.
Yep, wants a little more of that high ground control for Lunar Falcons as Elemental with the Pulse Bomb. Not going to find the stick, so not going to find a kill either. Use the recall to get right back up onto that high ground as the rest of Smelvin Industries will opt to jump onto the cart. Somehow Mori stays alive. Bance as well. How are they staying up in this very, very brutal fight for the Lunar Falcons? Terry dispatched and Smelvin will hold on here.
I thought Maury was dead to rights right there by Terry, but apparently got healed up and got the med pack. And then it was just like you blink and Lunar looked up, had 2 or 3 down. And then Terry just fell off the map after getting demexed. So they'll been turning around for those engagements. So right now, 2 team fights, 1 by each team. That shows you how very close these 2 teams are. That's why they're doing their best not to make any mistakes.
Hoggle in the back line, but Elemento has dropped their teammate early. Pulse bomb to the shield. That should claim someone with that Terra Surge. Yeah, Otter's caught out there. Now the orbital rays from either side as well as the rallies. We'll see. The very low is Aster, but it's trades abound here as we continue to roll through this fight. Izia, the next to fall as Big Nan takes control of Terry's mech for him. I mean, it's just one after the other. Self-destruct out from Terry to get back into the mech here. It's Big Nan and I believe Hoggle versus the world, but Fawn's just not in the way of Smelvin Industries, and Lunar Falcons come back and they take the fight.
Yeah, that was just a drawn out, what's going to happen, this and that. But now I'm looking at these 2, but you're going to have dueling Bobs, which is what we all like to see. So I'm interested in where the 2 Bobs are going to get placed and which one comes out first versus which one comes out second.
All right, Mori, able to mark where Terry was going to sit there. Takes a lot of damage. That's some pretty good percentage towards the orbital ray again. Now, Bob going to enter the fray from the side of Lunar Falcons. Terry getting aggro from the top of the castle under a lot of pressure is this front line of Smelvin, especially now that Big Nan has fallen. Terry loses the mech. The pulse bomb goes into the mech that has already been dispatched, and just like that, Smelvin will lose out on B.
Man, I figured Maury would have popped the ult right there, maybe try to stop him from trying to get that point as an extra body, extra defender. But apparently not. Just use the bomb. But right now you got 4 minutes on the clock, and Lunar looks right now to be the more solid team. Looks like the more cohesive team between these 2.
Well, now we head right back into the domain of the Orisa here on point C. Gonna put a lot of pressure onto that. Tracer is Terry for a moment, trying to get that healing from their back line and play it patiently. Gonna back off, get healed, wait for the re-engagement. They have a few ultimates here closer to the orbital ray than Smelvin is at the moment, but Elemental with the pulse bomb on the Bance, answered by the rally there. Orbital ray comes down from Izuya, and unfortunately orbital ray just a bit of a better ultimate than rally, and Lunar Falcons will continue their push.
Yeah, that was huge. I figured Elemental was going to go down with a slur of HP, but the pulse bomb able to open up everything, and then ult started coming out for both teams, and it was huge play right there.
All right, Mori the first to fall as Aster pops the rally. Now orbital ray from Bance. Unfortunately, the Terra Surge only good to claim the Pilot Diva. Less than a meter, now 0 meters. 3 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock for Lunar Falcons on their attack. An absolute wash there for Smelvin Industries.
If you're Smelvin, you got to look yourself in the mirror and go, man, what happened right there? I don't want to call it a steamroll, but Lunar pretty much won almost all the team fights. So if you're Smelvin, you got to do something to that. We got to get a team fight win. We got to get some momentum going, get the morale going. You don't want this to start snowballing. You got to put the bad round behind you and say, hey, we're not going to be on the attack. Let's just play our game, and let's see what happens. And here you see, if it stays, Mori on the Cassidy and Big Nan on the Junker Queen. Interesting, swappage right there.
Yeah. I think they need to change something up. I don't know if this is the change I would have made. I like the Mori Cassidy. What I'm worried about is the Junker Queen because I know Big Nan is an excellent, excellent Junker Queen, but I feel like this just runs into the same problem that they had when they tried to run the Reinhardt, right? Junker Queen is a very hard-nosed brawl tank, wants to be up in your face, and unfortunately, Orissa's great at denying that kind of pressure. So we will see as we come in here for the side of Smelvin Industries, changing up their entire comp. Nice little knife there early from Big Nan, looking for it. Another great one. Has the commanding shout, going in for another couple of seconds. Has the speed boost still. Hogglefart got behind. Terry very, very low. Hoggle able to back up, get the healing from their team, but not so lucky to stay in the fight. But Mori answers with a trade of tracers. Unfortunately, the trades continue to come through. I say unfortunately, this is still anybody's fight. Unfortunately, now that Big Nan has not been able to get that axe off, it will be Lunar Falcons able to grab that fight and stay up.
We talked about it earlier, the sustainability of the Orisa. And it looks like Seb switches over to the Baptiste for now, more little output healing versus the Brigette. But the Orisa has so much sustainability. It takes so much to kill an Orisa. You have to invest almost everything. If not, you're going to invest a lot just to get that advantage.
My goodness. Forced a recall, answered by Mori with the flashbang, able to get rid of Elemento early. This is the chance that Smelvin Industries has wanted for a little while now. Spear spin out, but the orbital ray down from Easy. Terra Surge in. Immortality field annoying, but Seb leaves the Immortality field! Goes down to the Terra Surge, and even with Terry going down, Lunar Falcons are still more than happy.
Actually, right there, they killed the thing right there, the Immortality. They killed it before the Terra Surge went down, so that's why it went down first. Then the players get killed in it. So good ability to kill that right off the bat. But you know, if you're Smelvin, you got to get something going. The pulse bomb's got to be huge. And then Otters pulls out the Bob to stop the Stonewall.
Great heal. Seb just goes down so quickly. Need to find something with this Rampage if they want it. Unfortunately, Element, okay. Big Nan actually good for two. Two-man trade. Hogglefart cleans up onto the Otters there. Still has a commanding shout. Pulse bomb in the hands of this Tracer. This Juno under so much pressure. Nice. Beautiful Gracies from Big Nan. Pulse bomb out. Terry dead. Smelvin Industries going to be able to grab this flip at least a tick or two.
That's what they needed, and it was like a pinch. And like I said earlier, you had the Junker Queen in front, the Tracer behind, and the Orisa can't block both of them at once. And the Pulse Bomb just does so much damage, and the follow through was there, and that's what Smelvin needed to get some momentum going. To say, okay, we're relaxed, we're calm, we playing our game now. Let's just push the payload.
Elemento and Hogglefart going at it in the bowels of the this castle there. Nice little knife there, pulls Terry to the ground. So no high ground control for the Orisa for a moment. Now we're gonna see the Amp Matrix out as well as this orbital ray. Seb able to grab a couple of picks there, and it was a little bit expensive, but it gets them out of the choke.
Yeah, they invest the two support ults right there, but they get a team kill. Now they get to push it at least to where the little choke is right there, if not where the curve is. And you do have the Deadeye, which can be used as a zoning. Oh, and you have Hoggle, who can easily get the Pulse Bomb built up. Big Nan is right there. Get his ult built up.
Fortunately, Seb goes down that Immortality field, not good to keep them up, but we've seen it time after time after time, just trade after trade after trade. And it just seemed to always favor the side of Lunar Falcons every single time. They use Rampage. Big Nan wants this fight bad. Pushes Terry back as Smelvin comes into this fight, and they're going to push the card a little bit further.
I was not expecting Big Nan to use the ult right there. I figured just get back to the team, then re-engage right here with it. Unless they're trying to maybe have Hogglefart go behind with the Pulse Bomb one of the supports.
Well, we're going to see the orbital ray down. Vance not even close to an answer there. So we'll just opt to run away up to the high ground. Try and jump on them from above. Unfortunately, Seb absolutely chased down by Easy. Amori answers the call there with the trade, because why wouldn't he answer the call with a trade? Seb gonna go back over to the Brig now as we see the Bob thrown down by Otters, and the rest of Smelvin will just back up.
Yeah, I think it was the last engagement. They were like, hey, we don't want to engage with that, but they may have the Brig. I thought they had Seb dead to rights right there, just getting hit, hit from behind. Man.
God dang it, Hogglefart. Not a sentence I thought I'd be saying today, but Hogglefart claims themselves with a pulse bomb. Big Nan the next to fall, and Otter's good for 2 more after. Smelvin Industries, they are reeling right now.
It's like, ever since that engagement with the Big Nan using the ult, I don't know if it's desperation or just a misclick, but it's like after that, Lunar Falcons is just like way more cohesive. It's like Smelvin's more flustered. Seb switched off the bat, and now Hogglefart is on the Bastion. Yeah, they're on the Bastion.
We'll see if this works out for them, as they've got only 40 seconds on. Safe to say it probably didn't work out in this fight at the very least. They have the orbital ray should they choose to use it in here, and they will. Now Terra Surge in. Good pick there onto Izia early as Terry tries to fight, continuing to stay alive in this small room, but the rally coming out post-orbital ray, and the trades have always been in the way of Lunar Falcons. There's only 15 seconds left. Do they have a touch?
I don't think they got a touch. I don't know, unless Mori can touch. I don't think they have a no. They're not going to have a touch, and that's going to be Lunar winning this game and going up 2-0.
I mean, it's kind of what I said at the end of Busan, right? Lunar Falcons are so heavily favored so far when it comes to these long, drawn-out fights where Orisa really is at her best, right? These fights lasting 45 seconds, a minute at a time. I mean, they just cannot get rid of Terry in any way that really matters, because even if they get rid of Terry, it's after the damage has been done, right? The rest of the team is able to come in here, get the trades for Terry, and even when the trades are back and forth, the spawn is just usually closer to Lunar Falcon, whether they're on attack or defense. It's just excellent the way that they're playing this Orisa composition right now.
Yeah, that's what made them so successful so far in the mid-season tourney. Like, they know how to run the Orisa comp. And yeah, it's still meta, even after all the changes. And it's just, we have said it 100 times over, Orisa's got so much sustainability as the anchor tank that if you don't do anything to the Orisa, like, you're going to stalwart that. You're going to push the payload. You can do a whole lot of things. And it's just, it starts with the tank getting all the resources. And it's like, so far from an ultimate perspective, I like Big Nan, but that one Rampage we're going to question. But for the old wise, for the tanks, it's been Terry's ult's been more crucial, more valuable, and getting more picks or assists than Big Nan's are.
Could not agree more. But for now, Smelvin Industries down 2-0, a situation they very rarely have found themselves in recent memory. Lunar Falcons coming out saying, hey, that midseason tournament was a fluke. We're the best team now. So now as we headed to a break, Lunar Falcons are going to want to complete their statement, and Smelvin Industries going to want to slam the door in their face. We'll see if either of those teams will be right, so stick around. It should be very, very interesting. All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, it is Lunar Falcons with a strong performance so far, up 2-0 to Smelvin Industries, our defending mid-season champion. It's been a rough one for Smelvin so far, close early, but Lunar Falcons has absolutely started to heat up.
They have, and that was just, we talked about it for the our break, but those two tank ults between Big Man and Terry has won that battle, won those all these last 2 months. So far, all game. I still question the Big Man ult after all the picks on that choke and Icon Wand. But yeah, we'll see what happens right here. It's a new map. Could be a reverse sweep in the cards. So we shall see what happens.
I mean, even down, one of their starters, I know Smelvin Industries is a good enough team to win here. The question is, do they? Right? Smelvin has proven themselves time and time again over the last couple of years to be one of the great teams in the console team, and now Lunar Falcons have come in here and just absolutely smacked them in the jaw so far. So now headed on to Hanaoka. I believe that if there's a map in this map pool for a losing team right now to find some sort of footing, it is the Clash map type, where not everybody knows how to play it perfectly just yet, right? We've seen it a lot of times where even if it is a one-sided match, the team that sometimes wins 3-1 is usually they win on Clash. So I guess we'll have to see if Smelvin can find their footing here on Clash to at least give themselves a chance.
Yeah, I've seen this map is usually one most losing teams win, and this map in this game mode. You've seen us talk about it on multiple CGL games. Is not really a controversial one, but it's more or less either you love it or you hate it. There's no in between. I've seen them go 8 to 10 minutes. Seen these maps go 2 minutes and 30 seconds or less. So it's going to be interesting to see what both of these two teams, how they want to judge. It looks like almost a mirror.
Lucio now in the hands of Vance. Ice Ball out. It's a good one there. Should be able to claim Otters there, but not quite able to for the moment. A lot of damage being put right into the face of Terry. Now Hyper Rings in from either side. Another wall in. Can they find the damage this time? The answer appears to be no. Spear back from Terry, and finally able to claim the kill there. Mori up in the sky, able to find the flashbang and get rid of Elemento, and the shots are true, taking care of Otters, and it will be Smelvin Industries able to get this first point.
And right there, you see both Mays are trying to get the ice balls behind the tank when the both tanks push up. And so I like Smelvin where Vance can skate around, boop, like when the tank's in there, wall behind, and just damage Terry. And it's hard for Terry to sustain that with no healing.
Far left side fight here. Terry just absolutely getting ripped through. His Big Man actually shoved into the back line, but Vance will be the first casualty in this fight, traded by Hogglefart. Unfortunately, we've seen what happens in these trade fights continuously. It usually goes the way of Lunar Falcons, and it looks like this one will be no different.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Lunar Falcons. Mori may try to touch, may try to contest, but yeah.
They're going to go in with the Orbital Ray and the Hyper Ring. They're going to throw Big Nan very, very far into the back line. No connection on that flashbang. There's still 3 ultimates, almost 4 in the hands of Smelvin Industries as Lunar Falcons retreated to the high ground now with the Terra Surge from Terry. Aster going to pop that Orbital Ray, but no spear to stop that Deadeye, and they get rid of Aster. The Blizzard annoying at the very least, but Otters will fall. Hoggle does end up getting taken down in the back line, but Smelvin Industries with a great retake as Mori rips through 3.
Mori is so far in these two team fighting engagements, putting the team on the back and saying, let me lead you to the promised land. Like right there, the ult going back and forth, looking at the tank, looking at the May, and then flicking around, getting Aster, getting your Brig out when the shield goes down. Very huge, very heads-up play by Mori. So far playing out of his skull right now in this game.
Still, some good ultimates in the hands of either of these teams. Unfortunately, Elemental stuck on the wall. Can they get rid? They can! Mori puts the spear right through the Rock Muncher there. There will be a trade, though, as Hogglefart continues to poke out here. Big Nan, even as low as they were, able to get rid of one, unfortunately. Right up in the spawn doors of Lunar Falcons, the trades will go their way as they're going to be able to grab E, head right back to D.
Yeah, that was a good trade right there. And able to get Big Man out. Took the Terror Surge, and Otter switches from the May to the Ash, and I believe that's it so far for the pick. Wait for the flop.
All right, orbital rays on either side, but the ultimate advantage in general still in the way of Smelvin Industries heading back to point D. We'll see as we head back over to this far side. Orbital ray down from Izia. Seb using it a little bit later there, and there is the Blizzard. The Terra Surge brings them right back in, but Izia honors the trades bound here. They're trying to keep it going, but Mori can only kill 2, and I say only if that's not a good thing, but Lunar Falcons will be able to even the score here on Objective D.
And right after that pick, Hogglefart switches over to the Tracer now, the more the pokey damage. That's it, but right now, it looks like, yeah, that looks like, they're still going to get tested.
Oh, there's going to be a quick touch, but the instant recall. Worth nothing there in the end besides that cooldown. Now Tectonic Shock in. What can they find with it? Nothing so far. They find finally Mori on the final shot. And Elemento finally getting busy. 2 picks, one with the ult, one with the primary fire. And there will be a retouch for that first fight for C. Gonna go the way of Lunar Falcons.
Yeah, it looks like it's still contested, but it should be Lunar Falcons probably getting this. Or at least the majority of the tick for an engagement. And Mori, I'm expecting to use the ult, try to get a pick or 2 in the back line.
Alright, here we go. Hogglefart the first call here, but Bob thrown in to make it a 6 versus 4 in this fight. Big Nan just absolutely running it down on C, and this point will belong to Lunar Falcons as they rock up and try to grab these final picks.
Yeah, usually it was like, hey, back and forth, but now Lunar's got some advantage. They got to win 2 more maps and they win this thing. Mori's still sitting on the ult. Vance has his ult for extra shielding if they need it. Hogglefart switches back to the May. And I believe that no more swaps or anything prior to this engagement.
Well, here we go. Shots good from Mori from the high ground. Has the Deadeye ready to go, looking for the opportunity. Spear is out, so should they choose to, they will. Sound barrier is the answer to the Terra Surge. Can Terry escape with their life? They can somehow, but now there's a Terra Surge in the way. Everybody got a piece of Terry there to clean that up as the orbital ray comes down. Maybe unneeded, maybe not. Bit of a dagger there as they head back to C.
Yeah, I don't think they needed that orbital ray right there. I would have used it for C right here. But you do have the Terra Surge versus Izuya has the orbital ray on the side of Lunar Falcon, so it's going to see they're going to try to push in with that.
All right, now Terra Surge in from the side of Big Nan, and it's going to be a great follow-up of damage onto Izuya as that orbital ray fades away. The damage is gone. The healing is gone. Hogglefart's gone. But Otters has decided that they're just going to take the onus onto themselves to put this fight in their way. 3 for Otters. My God, the man is a menace. Throws out the dynamite. Gonna try to clean up Big Nan. The shots are good. Terry able to find the final blow onto their mirror self. And somehow, some way, Lunar Falcons stays alive at the hand of Otters.
Yeah, Otters was clutch right there. And if you watch that final pick, Otters is playing with a 10-person kill streak. Has the bomb. So on this right here, which is the final point, if Smelvin wants to try to reverse this and at least get a map versus Lunar wants to win, the Bob will make it a 6v5 which a lot of times when you get 1 or 2 pickoffs, that's all they need.
All right. Only one more point separates Lunar Falcons from the sweep. Gonna throw down Bob. Saw that backline pressure there. Otter's very low. Gonna see the Deadeye headshot there. There's a Skull waiting. Do they pop it? Do they pop it? The answer's no. Mori has to stay alive, though, if they want to have a chance at winning this. The orbital ray from Seb fades away, and Mori, too, as well. It's not looking great here for Smelvin Industries as Lunar Falcons look to claim Objective D. Seb able to get rid of their mirror image, but not going to be great. The Blizzard going to deny the flip for a moment, but as Hogglefart gets pinned to the wall, that will do it here for us. The desperation touch is going to come through. This Terra Surge going to be very, very annoying. Slam going to come down from Big Nan. They switch so everything is in their favor, but nothing is regardless. Roll through going to come from Big Nan, but that Wrecking Ball explodes. And it's Lunar Falcons going to lock up the sweep here.
That was interesting if they're going to draw it out or not. And of course, Smelvin tried everything they could to touch. Maury got the play of the game, which was huge. I think it was a 2 or 3K. But it showed how competitive these two teams are. This showed like how close these two teams are. And I think it's just one of those, if you're Smelvin, go back, watch the film, review what happened, and come back next week. And if you're a Lunar, you're up here on an all-time high. You're like, hey, we just swept this team. And that's probably more confidence, more ammunition in the machine to make a run at a championship.
Yeah, I mean, Lunar Falcons, they have to take this. Like, they are elated right now. For Smelvin Industries, though, right, I'm not super worried about them. This hurts. It's not going to look good on the record. You obviously want to, stay undefeated, which only Lunar Falcons will here for the regular season, I guess that is. But for right now, Smelvin, they're down 3 starters, right? Tobbs, Robbie Hash, and Elliott are all out for various reasons right now. And that hurts. Like, the rest of the team, these, backup players come in and they put up a hell of a fight, right? But unfortunately, whether or not the players are great, what I think matters the most when you've got, some unfamiliar players is that they are, more unfamiliar. You don't have the same synergy that you would with the rest of the starting lineup, right? So I don't know how long those 3 will be out. That is not up to me or anybody. But now that Smelvin understands that this might have to be what they are doing for the next, for the foreseeable future, they've got to learn to play together, right? It was an ugly start to this, changed lineup. But Smelvin is a team that I know is good enough to overcome this, right? They're, like you said, they're well coached. They know what they're doing, and they can work through these struggles to get back to where they want to be.
Yeah. It's nothing but, good old management, good old feel. As a guy that's worked in sports and getting a master's in this, tape don't lie. You go back and watch the tape, and like 1 or 2 plays in each team fight, it could be 3-0 Smelvin. So, like, if you're Smelvin the coaches, just say, even with these backups in, we didn't play that bad. And a few coaching critiques, some constructive criticism, and, maybe some team synergy. Who knows? They could use this and go on a tear and use this as motivation.
Yeah, Smelvin Industries, though, going to fall here. Lunar Falcons with a sweep. So now we're going to cut it to a short break, and we'll talk to one of our Lunar Falcons players in an interview. So stick around. We'll see what they're going to have to say here.
Memories.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
All right, welcome back, everybody, and we have our winners here today. We've got Terry and Aster in for an interview. First of all, that was a great match against a strong opponent. How y'all feeling?
Absolutely fantastic.
It was a tough match, and it is, by the end of the day, all good and fun to play this.
Hmm.
All right, yeah. I mean, you knew how good Smelvin was before y'all came into this. What was the plan coming into this series to give y'all the best chance to win here?
Synergy, I guess. We had no synergy for the past 3 weeks, and it was really annoying to play. And then we started again. The first map on Control, we played awful. We had no synergy at all, and then we kind of brought it back second and third. So it was way better for Control.
Yeah, I do agree. Our synergy the last couple of weeks have been pretty bad, but I think it takes us a while to clock that synergy, to clock that compassion with the team. But by the end of it, we do pick it up, and when we pick it up, we start playing our best.
Yeah, after a few screams and shouts.
The way we do it.
Okay, well, I mean, y'all have taken down the defending champions of the midseason tournament. So now, that was one of y'all's hardest matchups for sure. Like, is there anybody else that you are really looking forward to playing here?
Oh, what's the team? I don't know. Was it Dystopia? I don't know if that's the team name. I can't remember it. The team who played against Smelvin in the mid-season tournament at final. I think that would be a good game.
I personally don't have any team that's going to be tough against us. I do have some confidence to say with ourselves that we are a very strong team, and I do think we'll put a fight up with any and all teams.
Sam, do you have anything for him?
I do. For Swines, which was Terry the tank.
Yeah.
What was your opinion on the Orisa v Orisa duel versus when Big Nan switched off to multiple tanks? What was your thought process trying to play against a wide variety of tanks?
Well, against the Big Nan, who he is a great player. I know he doesn't play as much anymore, but he still has, he still plays very well. And against him, it's difficult because the constant switch up in tanks makes me constant switch up in my own gameplay and how I, how I receive, how I deal with him in the duel, especially the Queen. I hardly ever play against Queen, so that really threw me off. But once I finally had my foot down on how to deal with his tank variety, I eventually was able to do a lot more as a tank myself.
And I'll ask Aster this, because last season, in the mid-season tourney, everybody knew the Juno Brig was the standard support duo. Yeah. What's the synergy like and the coordination like to put all those resources into your set Orisa to keep the Orisa up for multiple team fights that are like 45 seconds to a minute plus?
Well, for the Brig, I think it's quite easy. I think you just need to make sure your Inspires well. So everyone else gets a little bit of heal, so your Juno doesn't have to always keep turning around, or I heal them. And then we apply a lot of pressure onto everybody else, so they can't heal as much. And then our Juno will focus heal on the Orisa, and I'll pack him like once or twice, and I'll make sure my flankers are alright.
All right. Well, thank y'all for coming to talk to us here. Aster, Terry, do y'all have anything y'all want to say? Any shout outs, anything maybe we didn't talk about?
Yeah, when I 1v1 that Tracer on point in Icon World, that was amazing. And she pulse bombed herself. Love you, mate.
We didn't quite get that one on stream, but it was pretty funny.
I do want to shout out Otters of that Barb and Akin world. Didn't comment, but it was great to have. It was a great companion.
All right, Mr. Terry, congratulations one more time on the win, and we hope to see y'all later on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
You too. Have a good night.
All right. Well, that was not the match I really expected here tonight. Lunar Falcons came out swinging and they never stopped. So they need to be able to take that and run with it throughout the rest of this season. That is, like you said, a huge vote of confidence towards their gameplay now.
Yeah, it's like when you get a good quality team win, which granted, you're going to have the buts with Smelvin saying, hey, 3 of our starters were out for various reasons. No time for the return. We used 3 backups. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you still had a good record. Yeah, we 3-0'd you. So, you don't want to. It's hard to say you don't want to take it too lightly because if you did go against 3 backups, but the 3 backups for Smelvin played really good. So, and I would not be surprised if these 2 teams played each other later on. And they can both use this game for motivation to get back to the winning ways and to keep up the momentum going.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you can only play who's in front of you. Like, I'll be candid, we didn't even know if Smelvin was going to be able to play today. They were able to pull a team together, which, they still put up a pretty good fight. Ultimately, though, Lunar Falcons can only play, who's on the red team, right? So they did what they had to do, and they won pretty well this week, and they're going to move forward with that vote of confidence, looking very, very strong throughout the rest of this season. But for you and me, Sam, that's going to do it for tonight. Lunar Falcons 3-0 over Smelvin Industries. Do you have anything else to say before we head out?
The standard, keep an eye on our socials, on our X for like different games. Keep an eye on our Twitch, our CGL 1, 2, and 3 for different games. Keep up to date, even our servers. Even keep an eye out for our CGL Valor, which we're working on behind the scenes to get it going. Check out our YouTube. Check us out. We appreciate you guys for watching us. We appreciate the 2 teams for letting us cast the games. I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Echo, our producer. Thank you for your time and everything. And thank you, Fletch, for your time. Enjoy the game as always with you, brother.
Yes, sir. But one more time, thank you all for watching. And I think we've got some more action coming up on the NA side tonight, so keep an eye on the notifications for that. And I guess we'll all see y'all next time.
Lots of love. Lots of love. Got lots of love.